today's episode, we are going to continue right from where we left off in the last episode. As you can see, that last episode ended pretty abruptly, and that's because I got stuck on a bug and I was trying to figure it out off camera. But even more funnier is the fact that I took 4 months off right after that, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. But I'm a man of my word, and I already made you guys a promise that I was going to complete and finish this project. And that's exactly what we're going to do, guys. So let's get right back into business, and let's try to remember where we left off the last time. If you see me fumbling all over the place, be nice in the comment section. Like I said, it's been 4 months. I've been super busy with work and life, but I'm going to try to finish this, series for you guys. And in the last episode, we were actually stuck with a very silly bug, which is, I don't even know if to call it a bug, to be honest, guys. It was pretty wild, if I'm being honest. It just would not give us the stream token when we called this callable function called getStreamToken using the Firebase Cloud Functions API. And I honestly don't even remember how I fixed it, guys. It's been 4 months. But I do think, all jokes aside, I think the way I ended up fixing it was I think I logged out of my Firebase account, logged in again. I think I had a bunch of issues going on because I'm running multiple projects on my computer. With the WhatsApp clone is not the only Firebase project that I have. I have a bunch of other Google accounts, so I'm not sure if that led to conflicts. However, if you guys are having the same issues as I was having in that last episode, please comment down below, please. If that's the case, then I'm going to personally record a different episode that shows you how to actually accomplish these same cloud functions using what we call Firebase extensions. So thankfully, the StreamSDK guys actually have a Firebase extension, and I'm going to show you what I mean really quickly. If I jump into Google and I just search for StreamSDK extension, Firebase, you're going to see what I mean, guys. So authenticate with Stream Chat. So we could have done this all along instead of writing, all of this code from the very beginning in the last 2 episodes where we did the create stream user, delete stream user, get stream user, and all that good stuff. But you know what? No regrets because, we get to understand what's really going on because all of this code right here, right? All of this stream related code that helps us do the stream token is actually the same thing that this Firebase extension is going to do for you. So if for any reason you're still getting that unauthenticated error, like I was getting at the last episode, please let me know and I can make another video that shows you guys how to authenticate with this extension without having to write all of this Node.js code. But however, I'm just going to assume that you guys probably didn't have the same issues that I'm having because I have a bunch of junk and a bunch of crazy stuff and projects going on my computer. That's probably why I was running into that issue. Or at least that's what I'm going to tell myself. So I sleep better at night. Anyways, let's run our project again on the simulator and let's try to get right back to code. Enough of the yapping. So in the last episode, we were trying to log in with an account, and I believe we wanted to get the stream token for that account and store it on our Firebase real-time database, right? And if we jump into our Firebase console, so I'm going to go to the real-time database, go to the users node, and now let's go into the authentication table, and I have a bunch of account here. So let's say, for example, streamuser5 at gmail.com. If we want to log in with streamuser5 at gmail.com, really what we want is when we go to our stream, and let's say we go to our video and audio, we go to our Explorer, right? This is the getstream.io dashboard, by the way, guys. And if we go to the calls, not calls, actually I want calls. Is it logs that I want or calls? See what I mean, guys? It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. And I think what I want is let me see, channels, Explorer. Okay, so I want to go to the chat messaging, Explorers. If I go to the users, so as you can see, I have a bunch of user IDs here, which I already mapped to my Firebase. So for example, streamuser5, let me see the user ID for streamuser5 at gmail.com. It's OTL, so I'm just going to copy that. And if I go back to the stream console here, and if I just search for it with Command and F, it's this user ID right here. Okay, so that's what matches to streamuser5, and you can see it at the Gmail. So let's try to log in with streamuser5, and let's see if it's actually going to give us a token, because that's where we were stuck in the last episode. So I'm just going to say streamuser5 at gmail.com, and I think my password is password. Very secure, guys. Make sure you do this in production. I'm kidding, by the way. So if we click login, let's see what happens. And it takes a couple of seconds. Our project boots up, which is great. Let's put our lock emoji so we could filter out and ignore a lot of this noise that's spilling out of the console. And if you look at this right here, it says, let's see, what am I looking for here? Successfully fired get stream user token. So that's this right here. And why is this firing, guys? If you remember, in the last episode, right where I stopped was right here in the login with email and password. So login with email and password, we're calling this getStream user token right here, and that's what's giving us the user token. And I'm pretty sure that user token is actually being mapped to the user ID. So if we have the store method right here that stores it in our users node, in our Firebase node. So if we go back to Firebase really quickly, this is just a refresher at this point for me, because I honestly don't even remember what I was doing. Again, it's been 4 months. And if I command an F and I search for it, nope, not the lock. I want to search for the user ID. So let me go to the stream token again. Let me get the ID right here because the ID and the UID are the same thing for our stream. And if I go back to Firebase and I command an F, I'm inside of my, dude, why wouldn't it copy that? Like, fine. I guess I'm going to have to do it like that. If I jump into the users node and I command an F and I paste this, look at that. Okay, guys, we have our stream token, which is awesome. So that means we're storing our stream token in our Firebase backend. There's one thing I would like to say, though, in terms of production. If I'm releasing this to production, I probably would not store the stream token in the database. I mean, you could. I guess it depends on your requirement. But another way we could go about this is to actually store the stream token in, either in what is it called? In some sort of a local persistence, like basically persisted locally to disk. So we could use core data or any of the other options that are out there to basically store the stream token value. But I'm just going to stick with these options because it's easy. And again, we're just playing around. So now that we know we're actually getting the specific data that we need, and so we're no longer blocked from the last episode. Again, if you're still getting that issue that I had in the last episode, please let me know. If that's the case, then I'm going to make a video that shows you guys how to accomplish this with this, Firebase extension. It's actually very, very easy. It's way easier than this entire route that we went here. Anyways, again, I'm yapping all over the place. I'm just excited to be back, guys. So let's continue with our business. So we have our stream token right here in our login. So I'm going to go with login with email and password. We're also calling it when we create an account. Okay, that's cool. And we're setting it right here. That's awesome. So let me make sure we set the stream token to our current user right here. So let's see. Now, set up current user. Do I even need to call this? Let's see. I'm going to say the updated user is going to be equals to the current user. And I'm just going to say updated user dot, I think we call it stream token, is going to be the stream token that we are getting from this awaits block. Okay, that way we have it locally when we log in with email and password. And this is yelling at us, so I think we should just construct it really quickly. I'm just going to say user token because this is a string, right? So I'm just going to say stream token. And the user token object is a stream object token, guys. And so, oh, wait a minute, it's still yelling at us. I'm just going to default this to nil, guys. Actually, what am I doing? Wait a minute, I'm tripping, guys. I am so tripping right now. Yeah, stream token is stream token. It's both strings. So why is it yelling? It's saying cannot convert. Oh, I actually just want to call the raw value right there. There you go. Okay, we're back in business. Let's just run our project really quickly again, just to make sure, again, when we log in, everything is working. So everything is working with login with email and password right now, but we could just validate that really quickly again. So I'm just going to log out and let us create an account, actually. Let's just create a StreamUser5 account really quickly. StreamUser5@gmail.com. And we're just going to call it StreamUser5. And password is going to be password, the most secure password in the world. And we're going to click that create account. And it's saying the email address is already in use by another account. Oh, yeah, we already have StreamUser5. So let's change it to StreamUser6. StreamUser6, and the username is going to be StreamUser6. And let's click on that create account. Again, this should also store it in the backend. So successfully fired get stream user token. That is correct. Stream video setup completed with user token. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Okay, so if we go to our Firebase backend, again, just to make sure. And if we go to, let's see, I'm going to go to users node. Actually, I have to go to authentication and get so the user ID for StreamUser6 is VCP. So I'm going to copy that. Let me go to my stream chat log, make sure that even exists. So we're looking for VCP. I'm going to have to refresh. So right there, look at that, StreamUser6. So that's awesome. That means our cloud functions are actually working. Again, if we go to our cloud functions, these cloud functions, the create stream user and get stream user token are actually working, guys. So give yourself a pat on the back. We're doing a great job. The next thing I want us to do is let's remove this print statement right here. We no longer need that. And let us remove this other print statement that said something about successfully fired get stream user token. We no longer need that either. And so now let's do the same thing for auto login, because right now we're getting the stream account for when we create an account. We're getting the stream token when we create an account. We're getting the stream token when we log in with email and password. But what about auto login, guys, right? Because if we run our project again, remember this time around, we're no longer logging in with email and password. We're auto login because Firebase stored this for us, right? And if we go right here, let's see, we don't have a stream token for this currently auto logged in user. And I know that because, this is what's going on in the auto login. We essentially checked if there's no currently logged in user, then if there's a currently logged in user, we fetch the current user information. And as you can see, we're not really doing anything here. So we need to make an adjustment to that right here in our auto login functionality. And so what are we going to do? Like, how do we get the stream token in our auto login? And actually, you know what? I think we already have it. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Because remember, when we log in with email and password and when we create an account, we actually store that user stream token in Firebase. So if we go to real-time database, and if we go to our users node, and so let me copy this user ID really quickly, this VCP one for StreamUser6@gmail.com. And let me refresh my Google Chrome. I don't know why it's acting up. If we go to our users node, and I'm just going to search for that user ID, right? Inside of this user ID, there should be a stream token. Yeah, so we have a stream token right there. Awesome. So, we're doing good with auto login. We're doing good with login with email and password. and we are doing good with create an account. So we're getting the string token. We should do the same thing for, logging out, but I think I just want to, let's just do that right now before I forget. So the next thing is we want to make sure when we're actually logging out of our account that we are clearing out that stream token. And the way we're going to do that is we need to call this revoke stream token method. And what is the revoke stream token method going to do? Well, it's essentially just going to make an API call to this other, callable cloud functions that we created a while ago. And the cloud function I'm referring to in this scenario is this guy right here, and it's called revoke stream user token. If you go into our Node.js folder inside of our backend directory of our project, we have this, HTTP callable functions, which is a cloud function that we invoke from the iOS client side that's called revoke stream user token. So we need to call this guy whenever we log out, right? It makes sense, right? It's if you've ever done any sort of token-based authentication, you know what I'm talking about. When you log out, you probably want to revoke that token in one way, shape, or form. And so what do we do here? Well, let's just get the current user information. And actually, you know what? Let's think for a second here. What do we do here? It's actually pretty similar to this guy. So I'm just going to copy all of this guy right here because, I'm lazy, boys. And I know you are as well. Don't judge me. Ain't nobody writing all that code. So I'm just going to get this right here. And instead of calling the get stream user token, we are going to call the revoke stream user token. And if you guys remember, this is just an enum that we created for storing these cloud functions, okay? And so we're going to call that, and we no longer need to decode the stream user token because in this scenario, we're actually just, we're revoking it. So we want to remove it. And in this case, we're also not returning any sort of stream token. So what we want to actually do this time around is we actually want to remove that stream token from our users node. So that means if stream user 6, this guy right here, again, I know I'm jumping all over the place. I hope it's not too disorienting for you guys. Please give me feedback. These type of things help. So if we go to, for example, now I can't find it. Okay, so let's say stream user 5, right? When stream user 5 logs out, I want to delete the stream token sub node inside of its user node, okay? That's pretty much what I'm referring to. And so all I'm just going to say is Firebase constants, and I'm just going to say user ref, and I'm going to say child, and the child is going to be our user ID and child, and I'm just going to say stream token, and I'm just going to remove the value. Voila, that's all we got to do. And we can put a print statement down here just, for testing purposes right now. And I'm just going to say print successfully. Let's see, revoked stream user token. We don't need to print any other thing right there, just that. And failed to revoke stream user token from backend. We print the error, we return. We don't ever need to really return out of anything because we're just in that scope. And so that's all we need to do. So now we need to call this revoke stream user token in our logout method. All right, so I'm going to scroll the way up here, and right here we have our logout method. And what do we need to do with this bad boy? Okay, so right now we're just logging out of Firebase, and then we're sending a publication using combine to basically let our app know that we are now in logout states. So all we really need to do now is to actually fire the revoke, stream token method that we just created. So I'm just going to say await revoke stream user token, and it's going to ask for a user ID. And do we need to I feel like, do we really need to pass a user ID here? I feel like we should just do that down here. So I'm just going to say, all right, you know what? Let's keep the signature consistently. So I need to get the current user ID, and again, where is it? I know we've done it a bunch of times just now. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna write it. I was being lazy, guys. I was trying to look for a place where I could copy the code. So it's just current UID is equals to auth.auth, the current user ID. Else, we are going to return out of the scope. So we're gonna use that to fire and call our revoke stream user token. But again, honestly, I don't want to return out of scope if for whatever reason we can't get the current user ID. So I'll just pass that down here, and I'll use that to fire right, well, where am I even using it? No, not in get stream token. I'm tripping. So in the revoke stream user token, I don't want to pass in this parameter right here. I'm just going to pass this godlet function. Where's the godlet function I just created? Excuse me, guys. I'm all over the place. So that's what I want. And then I want to remove this parameter right here from our revoke stream user token. And then I want to go right ahead and remove this right here. And so this is going to yell at us because it's saying it's user ID and it's just the current user ID. That's all. So inside of the revoke stream user token. All right. So now we no longer need to pass that current user ID in inside of our logout method. So all we're doing now is we revoke the current user stream token, right? We log out of our Firebase actual authentication provider, and then we refresh our app with this publication. But you know what? Just to make things also easier, I'm going to actually de-initialize our stream video. Because remember, the stream video is the actual StreamSDK object, the stream interface that we use for video calling. So I'm just going to null that as well. And remember, that is a nullable method because it's optional and it's a published property. So I'm just going to null that in the logout method as well. And I think with that, we pretty much have a lot of the bulk of the work that we need to do in our authentication provider. Well, I lied, guys. There's one thing left, of course. We need to actually set up the stream video. So everything we just did just now is basically handling authentication, how our client's iOS app is going to deal with that StreamSDK user token. So for example, you log in with email and password, we've handled that. When you auto log in, we've handled that. When you log out, we have handled that. And of course, when you create an account, we have handled that. So we should be getting a stream user token for sure if we authenticate it in our application. So the last thing for us to do now is to swap out all of this setup stream video method that we created a couple of episodes ago with an actual initialized version. Because right now, look at this, we're using all this test, account. I mean, not test account, but test values that StreamSDK provided us in the in the video tutorial, in the iOS tutorial. So I want to swap all of this out for actual values. And there's a couple of things we need to do. Okay, so let's take this one step at a time. Nice and steady wins the race. So I'm just going to go right ahead and comment all of this out for now. And the first thing I want to do is I want to first set up, because remember this setup stream video is being called in our setup method right here. So I'm first going to guard against stream video being empty. So I'm going to make sure the stream video is empty. So that way I'm not double initializing it, right? If it's already been initialized, then we no longer need to initialize anything. So I'm just going to return out of scope, right? And we could put a print statement there if we're feeling generous for debugging purposes. And so we're just going to say print statements, and I'm just going to say stream SDK is already set up. No need to reinitialize. So I'm going to say no need to reinitialize it. Okay. And we can go ahead and pass in the current user token, stream token, if we're feeling generous. Okay, so we're guarding against this, making sure everything is good. And I'm just going to default this to nil because it's just going to keep yelling at me and I don't want it to do that. It's going to keep giving us that warning. So the next thing we need to do now is we need to get our API key, guys. And remember, we have our API key from our secrets, so not a problem. So let's go ahead and actually create a stream user. Remember, our stream user is different from our Firebase user, but they are married together thanks to our user ID, which is our UID, and our cloud functions that we created that gave us all that headache. So remember, this, for example, stream user 5, the user ID for stream user 5 is OTLCX. If we go to our stream dashboard, our getstream.io dashboard, this is the URL to that for me. And we go to our chat messaging and our Explorer section. Again, inside of the users table, I don't even know what they call this. I think they call it a table. I'll just call it a table because that's what you call it in relational databases. Inside of the users table, if you look at this OC, what did I call it again? OTIC, this is our stream user 5. So although the stream user and the Firebase user are completely different entity, they are merged together thanks to the user ID or the UID. So I'm going to go ahead and create that user right now. And user in this information is actually the stream user. And that's very important because that's different from our user item object. If I command and jump into this, that's giving me Firebase user, and that's not what I want. Maybe I could do stream video.user. Nope. I'm just going to keep doing this. User. Hopefully it knows what user I'm referring to. So in this case, the stream user comes with a bunch of stuff. It comes with an ID. It comes with a name. It comes with an image URL. It comes with an image URL. And I think the image URL is like that. And I need to pass in all of those properties for this bad boy. Okay. So let's see. Is it still going to keep yelling at me? Not really. So for the ID, it's just going to be my current user dot UID. Okay. For the name, it's just going to be my current user dot username. And for the image URL, it's actually expecting an actual URL. So for the image URL, I'm going to create a URL and I'm going to use the string constructor. And I'm just going to say our current user dot profile image URL. And if that is nil, then we're just going to pass in an empty string. We're just using this so that when we're actually calling a user, we show that user's profile photo. So if I actually come out and click into this now, this should take us to the StreamSDK user object. Yep. So this is the stream video, as you can see right here. Stream video sources, stream video. Yep. So this is the stream user. Okay. And you can see it up here as well. Stream IO. Okay. So I know it sounds a little bit conflicting, but like Firebase has their own user, Stream has their own user. We have our own user. I guess everybody gets a user. So just don't get it confused. It's all sort of the same. We're merging multiple data sources together. And I think this is pretty cool for tutorials because I feel like a lot of tutorials, they just show you like one sort of place of getting data, which is like you're just using Firebase and that's it. In reality, in production, when you're building an iOS app for like a client or in a company, you're usually dealing with multiple different kinds of data sources. I've had companies where, you're merging multiple 4 different data sources just to like compose a single user entity. Anyways, I know I went on a long rant there, but I'm just telling you guys, this is pretty normal and it's not unheard of. So we have our stream user object. Now we need to actually set up our stream video all over again. So I'm just going to take this right here. Okay, put it right there. And I'm just saying the stream video is equals to stream video. The API key is the API key secret. The user is going to be our stream user. And then the token is going to be, let's see. So I need a stream token, and I'm just going to get that from getting current user. So I'm going to say let stream token is current user, the stream token. And else, I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equals to stream token. And then I'm going to say get let stream token is equ if there's no stream token, we can't really create or initialize a stream object. So this is very important because remember, the stream token is out the stream server verifies that we are who we say we are. It's how it authorizes our users. So we're gonna have to return out of the scope or throw an error, right? If this is an actual production app, I would probably throw a fatal error or something here because we can't actually make a video call if for any reason our stream token is invalid or it's unavailable, or I mean it's null. So in this case, I'm just gonna say failed to set up stream SDK, and the error message is gonna say because stream token is null. Okay, and we don't need to pass in any sort of like string interpolation or any of that stuff. So I think that's a pretty decent error message. So we have our stream token, and then we're gonna pass in that stream token right here as our token right here. So we need to create a user token. So we're gonna say user token. This is also a Superbase object. I mean, not Superbase, a stream object. As you can tell, I've been learning Superbase a lot lately, which by the way, a Superbase TikTok clone is coming soon, guys. So if you're excited by that, stay tuned. But what I meant to say is a user token is actually a stream object. So I'm going to pass in that stream token string that we're getting from our current user right here. And I think that's pretty much all we need to really set up a user. But let's put a print statement here just to make sure we're getting all the way to the end and to make sure we're not exiting anywhere during the scope. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of these old comment sections. And I'm going to go ahead and run our project. And if everything compiles, let's see what happens. Oh, we're getting an error. It's saying, oh, yeah. Because look at the contract of our auth provider, which is the protocol right here. We said the revoke stream user would have a user ID parameter, and we changed our mind. So we got to remove that. The beauty of protocols. All right. So let's run our project and make sure everything is compiling. And if everything is still compiling, and at the end, we're getting, let's see, stream video setup completed with the right token and stream user 6. And that's perfect, guys. Now, currently logged in user is actually stream user 6. So that's awesome. All right, now let's actually go make a video call for crying out loud. I know it's been a minute, guys. Again, it's been 4 months, so I'm a little bit rusty, but we're getting up to speed. All right, so we're pretty much done with our authentication provider now. All right, this is the final piece of the equation. Now let's jump into our chat room. So I'm gonna say chat room screen. And what do we wanna do inside of our chat room screen? Let me kill the simulator really quickly. Let me open up the canvas and let's refresh our Swift canvas, and this is probably going to take forever because, like I said, I haven't opened up this project in a minute. Okay, but actually just looking at this right now, we already have the start video call method, which is relatively simple. It's, we already have a call view model up here, and if you've been following the tutorial religiously, I'm sure you already understand what's going on here. So I'm going to scroll all the way back down. The call view model is essentially a view model that StreamSDK gives us, and it allows us to be able to use their default components to make video and voice call, I believe. So in this case, we used this to test in a couple of episodes ago to join a call. We no longer want to do that. We want to make our own call now, all right? That's what we're here for. So we're going to need to create a call. I want to be able to click on this, video call button and actually call people that I'm in the same chat room with. So I'm going to create my call members. So I'm going to say call members, and we need to create something known as a member, which is, again, just a Stream SDK object. So hopefully by the time you're watching this tutorial, they haven't changed the SDK because I know these stuff, so, they change their stuff all the time, I'm pretty sure. But pretty much, I just want to create the call members, basically the people I'm going to be calling. So I'm going to get the members inside of the channel, excluding the currently logged in user. So that's what this member excluding me is. I'm going to create a member, which is a Stream SDK object out of this. And I'm going to create a user, and let's see, what do I want? Yep. So I'm going to pass in a user for the member, and I'm just going to initialize this pretty quickly. And let's see, it's not giving me everything I want, though. Let me just say user. And it's going to ask for an ID, a name, image URL. So let's go ahead and do all of that. Now, this is getting pretty beefy. So let's start to inline things just so, come on. So it's just a little bit more readable. If not, this is going to be a pain in the butt. All right. So we have our user object, and the ID, if you guys can get, is going to be $0.0.uid, which is just a user item object that we have. Because remember the channel, if you jump into this, members excluding me is just the user items. It's the members inside of a specific channel. So the name is going to be $0.0.username. And the image URL is going to be the same thing like I did the other time. I'm going to construct it from a string, and I'm going to say $0.0.profile image URL, or I'm going to default it to this. And the role, do I even need to pass in role or any of that stuff? I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to remove role because I'm pretty sure those are optionals, or like they're not mandatory. And so I have my members. I have my call members created now, which is pretty awesome. I feel like I should inline this better, but I think you guys get the point. So now let's go ahead and use our call view model to actually start a call. So I'm just going to say start call. And let's see, I want to start call, the call type, ring, all that stuff. So let's say start call. We're going to use defaults. The call ID, let's use UUID .UUID string. And then the members is going to be the call members that we just created. And the ring, we're going to make sure that is true. So let us indent things a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. And I'm pretty sure this is all we need. And I'm pretty sure we're also already calling the start video method inside of our trailing navigation item. All right. Of course, we can't do this from the canvas. We actually have to run the simulator. So let's go ahead and run the simulator and let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this works. By the way, you might not be able, actually not you might, you're not going to be able to make a video call with your old user objects that you created before we rolled in the StreamSDK, because remember, the user object has to exist both in your Firebase backend and in your StreamSDK console or dashboard. So right now, I know that's the case because we have StreamUser6 here in our StreamUser, and I think that's VCP. We have StreamUser6 right here in our StreamSDK dashboard, and we also have the same StreamUser6 if I go to my Firebase and I say Command and F. Look at that. We have the StreamUser6 right here as well. So whatever testing account you're using, just keep that in mind. And as you can tell, this has a stream token. So we should be able to use it to make phone calls. So if we go right here, we might need to create a new chat. So let's go right ahead and go and start a new chat with StreamUser5, because I'm pretty sure that's a new account that I recently created. If I can find it. Is it not showing up? The StreamUser4. No, I don't want StreamUser4. I'm just looking for StreamUser5, guys. Right here. So the StreamUser5. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And so I've started a new channel with that. So let me go ahead and load up StreamUser5 on a different Xcode simulator. So I'm going to go ahead and run that just so we see what's going on. And this is going to take a couple of seconds. And I'm going to have to log in, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that was fast. That was not that bad. I thought it would take forever. Okay, so I'm trying to log in because right now I'm currently logged in as, if I remember again, StreamUser6 right here. I'm trying to log in as StreamUser5 right here, and I think this is, okay, as you can see, that crashed. Why did that crash? Because, you know, we don't have a stream token, right? So we can't set up the stream video. So I need to go ahead and actually, I'm going to fix that really quickly. So if you ever experience that in your own project as well, where your project crashes, that's normal. That's because that object, that user object does not exist in does not exist in the StreamSDK backend, okay? So you don't have a stream token. So, I mean, you could write a migration script for that, but I'm not going to go through all that, guys. I think you guys get the point. And if you don't, please leave a comment below. I'm happy to explain any further. There's no comment is too silly, guys. Just ask. Ask and you should receive. So I'm going to go ahead and go and just copy this right here. And I think I just want to call the logout method really quickly, just for this method. So I'm just going to call it above here. You might not have to deal with this if you already have a different stream account, but I don't, so I kind of have to. And I'm going to just leave this with this because it can throw an error. Basically, I just want to log out. I want to log out of whatever account I have on the second simulator. Awesome. It's done that. So I can reverse everything out and then rerun the project again. So let's log in StreamUser5 so we can have something valid. Or we can even create a different stream account, honestly. Maybe we should. Let's just say stream user7 at gmail.com. I'm just going to say baddie. And we're going to call it password. Let's go ahead and create our account. And it should work. Yep, it did. So if we jump right here, baddies, perfect. But this is StreamUser7. So what do we want to do? Let's go ahead and start another chart with, oh, dude, I played myself. Okay, anyways, there's baddies right here. So let's go ahead and call baddies. Let's see what happens when I call baddies. Look at that, guys. We freaking did it. That's awesome. Look at that. So we got an incoming call. If I go ahead and accept it, what happens? It's going to ask for microphone permission, which makes sense, right? And that's it. It is working. Obviously, this is a simulator, so my camera is not going to work, and I don't want to show you guys my pretty face, but I think you get the point. I'm going to go ahead and hand the call, and let's say we inverse it, and let's say baddie, right, goes right ahead and calls StreamUser6. What happens? Look at that, incoming call from baddies, right? If I go ahead and pick that call, it says StreamUser6, and if you look at the participants, you can tell, and test this out on an actual physical device, guys. That's where the real magic happens, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and hand the call, and let's try with a group chat, shall we? Let's say, so there's baddies and StreamUser5. Let me create a group channel with those guys. And so I need baddies and I need StreamUser. So wait, which one is this one right now? StreamUser6. I'm looking for one of the stream users. Where is it? I just want to sort of see what happens with a group chat. Oh boy. This is StreamUser6. Anyways, guys, I'll let you guys play around with that. I know this video is getting a little bit longer and out of place. But yeah, you get the point. You know, if we make a phone call, if this was StreamUser5, you should come in right here. But, you know, if this is a group chat, it's the same thing. And again, let me just test it really quickly. Let's say this is baddies. So I just want to do a group chat again. Just group chat with baddies. And I need I need StreamUser5. There we go. And I'm just going to say, call in the boys. All right. Or it could be the girls, right? We don't discriminate. And let's go ahead and do that. And if you jump into this other chat room and let's say we call in the boys, look at that. All right, so as you can see right here, it says, baddies and stream user 5. That's what we're calling. But here it's showing up as, user ID and stuff like that. We're going to fix all of that in the next episode, but I think you guys get the point. You can see who's in the chat. And that's awesome, guys. We're actually able to make our own calls. This has been a really long episode, guys. But again, it's my first video back after 4 months. So I just had to do a massive video dump and complete this specific episode. In the next episode, I'm going to see you guys and we're going to actually do VoIP notifications. Now, if you don't know what that is, stick around. I think you're going to be excited to learn a lot about it. Thank you always for your support. Hit that like and subscribe button, guys. It means a lot. Seriously, it does. I mean, if you like and subscribe, maybe I'm not going to go away for 4 months and maybe I'm actually going to release that TikTok clone. Anyways, I'm just joking, guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.